There are 8 billion people walking this earth right now. 8 billion souls. 8 billion stories. 8 billion versions of someone trying to figure out why they're here. And out of all of them, out of every single one, only 144,000 will ever hear the voice of God say 2 words. Sit down. Not stand up. Not fight harder. Not try again. Sit down. And if you don't understand what those 2 words mean, if your spirit doesn't already tremble when you hear them, then this video isn't for you. Keep scrolling. Find something easier. But if something just moved in your chest, if your eyes are getting heavy with that feeling you can't explain, if you feel like someone's been calling your name for years, and you finally turned around, then sit with me for the next few minutes. Because what's coming is going to shake foundations you didn't even know you had. I want you to picture something with me. A throne room. Not the kind in fairy tales. A real one. Massive. Quiet. The air thick with something that feels older than time. And there's a chair. Just one. Empty. Waiting. You've been standing your whole life, haven't you? Standing in lines. Standing your ground. Standing up for people who never stood up for you. Standing in the gap for family members who don't even know what you've carried for them. Standing in prayer until your knees hurt and your back gave out. And nobody ever told you that you were allowed to sit. That's the first thing the world steals from the chosen. The permission to rest. The world tells you that if you stop moving, you'll lose everything. That if you sit, you'll be forgotten. That rest is for the lazy and stillness is for the weak. But heaven works backwards from earth. In heaven, the highest honor isn't a crown, it's a chair, a seat, a place reserved before you were even born. And the king doesn't hand it out to the loud ones. He hands it out to the ones who learned how to be still. The 144,000 aren't loud. That's the first thing you need to understand. They're not the influencers. They're not the megachurch pastors with the perfect smile and the white teeth. They're not the prophets with 12 million followers. Some of them, yes. But most of them are people you've walked past at the grocery store and never noticed. A janitor in Tennessee who prays over the school every night before he locks the doors. A grandmother in Ohio who's been interceding for her grandson for 41 years and he still hasn't called her back. A truck driver out of Kansas City who hears God speak to him at 3 a.m. on a stretch of road where the radio doesn't even work. These are the ones being called to sit down. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, George, who am I to think I'm one of them? Out of 8 billion people. Come on. That's pride. That's delusion. That's me thinking too highly of myself. Listen to me. Listen very carefully. The biggest weapon the enemy ever invented wasn't lust. It wasn't greed. It wasn't even fear. It was the lie that you're ordinary. That lie has put more chosen ones to sleep than anything else in human history. Because if you believe you're ordinary, you'll never sit down. You'll keep running. You'll keep proving. You'll keep performing. And you'll die exhausted, with a seat at the right hand of the Father still empty, because you never believed it had your name on it. Let me tell you something about that number. 144,000. 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes. People hear that and they think it's literal. People hear that and they think it's symbolic. People argue about it on the internet like it's a math problem. But the truth is deeper than both. The 144,000 is not a quota. It's a frequency. It's a vibration of the soul that very few human beings ever tune into in their lifetime. You don't get drafted into it by being good. You don't earn it by going to church. You don't unlock it by reading the right books. You wake up to it, slowly, painfully, one layer at a time, like an onion being peeled by hands you can't see. And the first sign you're waking up to it, you start losing your taste for things that used to satisfy you. Think about that for a second. The friendships that used to feel like home start feeling like noise. The conversations you used to enjoy start feeling like static. The entertainment that used to numb you starts feeling like poison. The food, the music, the routines, they don't fit anymore. You're not sad about it. You're not angry. You're just done. And you can't even explain why. That's the shift. That's the 5D shift everybody keeps trying to put words on. It's not a sci-fi thing. It's not a New Age thing. It's a biblical thing. It's what happens when your spirit starts operating on a frequency your flesh hasn't caught up to yet. The flesh wants comfort. The spirit wants truth. And when the spirit wins, every foundation in your life starts shaking. I'm going to tell you something most people are never going to tell you. The 5D shift is not gentle. It's not love and light. It's not crystals and incense. It's a wrecking ball with a name written on it. And the name is yours. It's going to come for the relationships you've outgrown. It's going to come for the job that's been killing your soul, one paycheck at a time. It's going to come for the version of you that you built to survive the people pleaser, the over-explainer, the one who says yes when their whole body is screaming no. It's going to come for the addictions, the patterns, the loops you've been stuck in since you were 9 years old. And it's not going to ask permission. I had a man write to me last month. 62 years old, lifelong believer, walked the aisle when he was 11, never missed a Sunday, never touched a drink, never raised his voice at his wife, did everything right by every metric anyone ever gave him. And he wrote to me and he said, "George, I feel like God is dismantling my entire life. Everything I built is cracking. My marriage feels strange. My church feels strange. My own body feels strange. What's happening to me?" And I told him what I'm about to tell you. It's not destruction. It's preparation. When God is about to seat you, He first removes everything that wasn't built to sit beside you. He doesn't ask for your input. He doesn't run it by your therapist. He doesn't wait until you're emotionally ready. He just starts pulling, and the pulling feels like death. But it's not death. It's a labor. You're being born into something the old you was never going to be allowed to enter. Think of Elijah. Think of that man. He just called down fire from heaven. He just defeated 450 prophets of Baal in a contest that should have been impossible. He should have been on top of the world. And what happens? He runs. He runs into the wilderness, sits under a tree, and asks God to take his life. He says, "I've had enough. I'm done." And God doesn't lecture him. God doesn't say, "Get up, soldier, you've got work to do." God sends an angel. The angel doesn't preach. The angel doesn't prophesy. The angel cooks him a meal and tells him to sleep. Twice. Sleep, eat, sleep, eat. That's it. For days. Because God knew something Elijah didn't know. God knew that the next assignment was going to require a man who had finally learned how to sit down. You can't pour out from a cup that's been running on empty for 40 years. You can't hear God in a wind or an earthquake or a fire. Elijah found that out too. You hear God in a whisper, and whispers don't survive in noisy lives. The 144,000 are being pulled into silence right now, all over the world, quietly, one by one. The Spirit is whispering the same 2 words into millions of ears, and only a few are stopping long enough to listen. Sit down, sit down, sit down. And the ones who are sitting, they're not lazy. They're not depressed. They're not giving up. They're being repositioned. They're being recalibrated. They're being prepared to carry something that the standing crowd will never be strong enough to lift. There are messages that pass through your eyes, and there are messages that pass through your spirit. If something in you recognized itself while watching, don't dismiss it. That is the Spirit confirming what was already written. My name is George, and I'm telling you this not as a theory, but as a man who walked through it myself. The secret protocol carries 7 keys that unveil what heaven deposited in you before you ever arrived. Things no one around you has ever been able to name. It comes with the full audiobook for your moments of prayer, silence, and encounter with God. And you also receive the Awakening Map, the guide that illuminates the 5 seasons of spiritual awakening, revealing with precision exactly where you are and what comes next. The link is pinned in the first comment, but only for a limited time. Don't let this moment pass without a response. Now let me keep going. Because we're just getting to the part that matters most. Out of 8 billion people, why so few? That's the question, isn't it? Why 144,000 and not 144 million? Why not everyone? Doesn't God love everyone? Yes, He loves everyone. But love is not the same thing as assignment. Love is universal. Assignment is specific. God loves every fish in the sea, but only one swallowed Jonah. God loves every donkey on earth, but only one carried Balaam. God loves every womb that's ever existed, but only one carried the Messiah. Love is wide, calling is narrow, and the 144,000 are not chosen because they're better. Get that out of your head right now. They're not holier, they're not smarter, they're not stronger. Most of them are walking wounds. Most of them have a story they've never told anyone. Most of them, if you sat across from them at a diner, would look exactly like you. They're chosen because they said yes when it cost them everything. Yes to being misunderstood. Yes to being mocked by their own family. Yes to losing friends who couldn't handle the new version of them. Yes to walking away from money that came with strings attached. Yes to nights of weeping no one will ever know about. Yes to a God who doesn't always explain himself. Saying yes to God in public is easy. Anyone can do that. The 144,000 said yes in the dark. In the hospital room, in the courtroom, in the parking lot at 2 a.m., with mascara running and a phone they didn't have the strength to pick up. They said yes when there was no audience. They said yes when there was no reward in sight. They said yes when every voice in their head, including their own, was telling them to walk away. That kind of yes leaves a mark on the soul, and heaven sees that mark. Now I want to talk about the shaking, because this is where it gets uncomfortable. Every foundation in your life is being tested right now. Not punished. Tested. There's a difference. Punishment is about what you did. Testing is about what you're being prepared for. And the 5D shift, that biblical, prophetic, end times realignment, is exactly that. It's a sifting. The same kind Jesus warned Peter about. He said, "Simon, Satan has asked to sift you like wheat, but I have prayed for you, that your faith would not fail." That's what's happening. You're being sifted. And the sifting hurts, because it's separating the chaff from the wheat in your own heart. The fake from the real. The performance from the presence. The religious habits from the relationship that was always supposed to be at the center of it. And it's going to show you things you didn't want to see. It's going to show you that some of your fears were actually inheritances. Things you picked up from your mother and never put down. Things your grandfather buried in the foundation of his house and you've been carrying ever since. The sifting is going to bring them up. Not to shame you, to free you. It's going to show you that some of your relationships were transactional. That some of the people you called friends were really just using you for the part of you that made them feel better about themselves. The sifting is going to expose that, painfully, quickly, without warning. It's going to show you that some of your dreams were never yours to begin with. They were given to you by parents who needed you to live the life they never got. By teachers who saw potential and tried to mold you into their image of success. By a culture that told you what a meaningful life was supposed to look like. The sifting is going to peel those away. And what's left underneath is the real dream. The one God whispered to you when you were 3 years old, and you forgot about it by the time you were 7. I had a woman tell me once that the most painful season of her life was the year God removed everyone from her life who knew her old name. She said it felt like dying. Friends of 20 years went silent. Family members stopped calling. Her own husband, who she loved, became a stranger in her own kitchen. And she said, "George, I thought I was losing my mind. I thought God was punishing me." I told her, "You're not being punished. You're being uncovered." The people who left were never able to walk into the room God was building for you. They could love the old you, They couldn't survive in the presence of the new one. And that's not their fault. That's just the math of the assignment. The 144,000 walk alone for a long time before they ever walk together. That's another thing nobody tells you. You're going to feel like the only one. You're going to scroll through social media and feel like everyone else is doing fine. You're going to sit in church and feel like you're hearing a different sermon than the one being preached. You're going to come home from family dinners and cry in your car because no one in that room knew the language your soul is now speaking. That's the loneliness of the chosen. And it's not forever. But it's real. And it's hard. And anyone who tells you it isn't is lying to you. But here's the part I want you to hold on to. The part you're going to need when the foundation starts cracking and you can't sleep at night and you're wondering if you've made it all up. Sit down doesn't mean stop. It means trust. When God tells you to sit, He's not benching you. He's enthroning you. He's saying, the next phase of this story isn't going to be carried by your strength. It's going to be carried by mine. And the only way you're going to receive it is if you stop trying to manufacture it. Look at Mary. Mary didn't run around trying to figure out how to be the mother of God. She sat. She pondered. She kept things in her heart. The most extraordinary assignment ever given to a human woman, and her primary posture was sitting, receiving, holding, pondering. While Joseph worked, and the wise men traveled, and Herod schemed, and the angels announced she sat, and inside that sitting, something divine was being formed. Look at David. Before he was king, he sat in caves. He sat with sheep. He sat with his enemies hunting him, and his own father overlooking him. He sat for years, and in that sitting, the songs were born. The songs that would become the Psalms. The songs that would feed your soul 3,000 years later in your living room with the lights off. None of those songs were written from a throne. They were written from a hiding place, from a cave, from a man who had learned how to be still long enough to hear something that wasn't his own voice. Look at the disciples in the upper room. After the resurrection, after Jesus told them to go into all the world, what did he tell them to do first? Wait. Just wait. Sit down. Stay here. Don't move until the Spirit comes. And they did. For 10 days. They sat. They prayed. They waited. And when they finally got up, they shook the entire known world. The pattern is everywhere. Sit before you stand. Wait before you walk. Receive before you release. And the world will tell you you're wasting your life. The world will say, look at all the people moving forward while you're stuck in this season. Look at all your old friends getting promoted, getting married, building businesses, posting their wins. And here you are, sitting, doing nothing, according to everyone else. But you're not doing nothing. You're being formed. You're being filled. You're being prepared. And when the time comes, and it will come, you won't have to chase anything. The thing will find you. The door will open. The right people will appear. The assignment will reveal itself. And you'll know, in your bones, that none of it could have happened if you hadn't first learned how to sit down. There's a verse I want you to write down somewhere. Hebrews 4-9. There remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. A Sabbath rest, not a vacation, not a nap. A holy, deliberate, sustained surrender to the fact that God is God and you are not. And there's a rest that's been reserved for the people who learn how to enter it. Most people will never enter it. Most people will run themselves into an early grave, still trying to prove something to a God who already approves of them. Most people will die exhausted, having achieved every external goal, and miss the only internal one that ever mattered. But you reading this, you hearing this, you with the tears starting to come up, you have a chance to do it differently. You have a chance to stop running. You have a chance to sit down. And when you do, something is going to happen. Slowly at first. So slow, you'll think nothing is happening at all. But then one day you'll wake up and you'll realize you're not afraid of the same things anymore. You'll realize the voice that used to torment you has gone quiet. You'll realize you can hear God again, the way you did when you were a child, before the world taught you to doubt everything. You'll realize you're one of the ones being called. Not because you earned it. You didn't. Not because you deserve it. None of us do. But because before you were born, before the foundations of the earth were laid, God looked at the stretch of human history, and He saw your face. He saw your name. He saw exactly this moment, this video, this minute, this breath you're taking right now, and He set aside a chair for you. And the chair is empty, and He's waiting. So here's what I want from you. I want you to do something simple before you close this video and go back to your day. I want you to think about one thing in your life right now that's standing where it shouldn't be standing. One thing that should be sitting down. One thing that you've been holding up with your own strength when it was never meant to be your responsibility. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a fear. Maybe it's a financial situation. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a part of yourself that's been carrying weight since you were 10 years old, and it's time to let it rest. I want you to drop it in the comments below. Just a word or two. Don't explain it. Don't justify it. Just name the thing you're finally going to let sit down. Because the moment you name it, something shifts. The moment you say it out loud, the chair in heaven with your name on it gets 1 inch closer. And I'm going to read every single one. I'm going to pray over every single one. Because if you've made it this far, if you're still here, if you didn't scroll past in the first 10 seconds, then you're not random. You're not lost. You're not too late. You're being called to sit down. And the King is waiting for you to take your seat.